Genetic Ancestry Rebellion. Chapter 1. The Forgotten Archive.
The sun hovered low over the jagged skyline of New Istanbul, its fading light casting a fiery orange glow across the bustling city. Drones zipped between towering skyscrapers, carrying goods and messages, while holographic advertisements danced in midair. Mina Aras leaned against the railing of her modest apartment balcony, the distant hum of life below barely registering in her ears. Her mind was elsewhere. Lost in the labyrinth of ancient records she'd spent the day poring over at the Global Historical Institute. As both a historian and a geneticist, Mina had spent years piecing together fragments of humanity's turbulent past. But today, amidst the usual data scraps and corrupted files, she had stumbled upon something unprecedented. A heavily encrypted archive labeled only as Project Prometheus. Her portable hollow terminal rested on the small table beside her, its screen still glowing faintly. The archive had been locked behind layers of encryption far beyond anything Shed encountered before. But with the help of an old decryption program, an artifact of the pre-quantum age, she had managed to crack its outer shell. The partial data she uncovered painted a chilling picture. Experiments conducted not by humans, but by an unknown alien species. Their subjects? Early hominids, genetically manipulated to accelerate evolution. A soft chime broke Mina's concentration. Her hollow terminal's display flickered, revealing the face of her friend and colleague, Elias Karimi. His expression was a mix of excitement and unease. "Mina," he said without preamble, "you need to come to the lab, now." Mina frowned. "Elias, it's late. Can this wait until morning?" "No," Elias insisted. "I ran a secondary analysis on the sample you flagged from Project Prometheus. You need to see this for yourself." The urgency in his voice banished any thought of rest. Grabbing her jacket, Mina activated the apartment's security protocols and hailed an automated cab to take her to the institute. The Global Historical Institute's genetics lab was dimly lit, its rows of equipment casting long shadows across the polished floor. Elias met Mina at the entrance, his usually composed demeanor replaced by nervous energy. "What did you find?" Mina asked as they walked briskly toward the central analysis station. Elias hesitated before responding. "I'm not sure how to explain it. The genetic markers in the sample, they're not human, but they're also not entirely alien. It's like someone tried to bridge the gap between species." He brought up a holographic display, the data swirling in complex patterns. Mina's eyes widened as she took in the intricate strands of DNA, each sequence highlighted with annotations. There were unmistakable signs of advanced genetic engineering, techniques far beyond anything humanity had ever achieved. "This sequence here," Elias continued, pointing to a glowing segment, "it's a kind of genetic timestamp. Whoever did this, they left their mark. It's almost like a signature." Mina's stomach churned. The implications were staggering. "You're saying this isn't just a relic of some forgotten civilization? Someone, something, altered our ancestors on purpose?" Elias nodded grimly. "And whoever they are, they're still out there. This level of technology doesn't degrade with time. It's practically immortal." Before Mina could respond, the lab's security alarm blared, its piercing wail cutting through the silence. The lights flickered, then dimmed to a threatening red. "What the hell?" Elias muttered, moving toward the terminal to access the security feed. The screen showed chaos in the Institute's main lobby. Armed figures in sleek, black exosuits were forcing their way through the building, their movements precise and methodical. Drones equipped with energy weapons flanked them, neutralizing any resistance with ruthless efficiency. "They're here for the archive," Mina said, her voice barely above a whisper. She grabbed Elias by the arm. "We need to leave. Now." The pair made their way through the Institute's labyrinthine corridors, sticking to the shadows to avoid detection. Mina's mind raced. If the attackers were after the archive, they already knew about Project Prometheus. But how? The data had been buried for centuries, hidden behind layers of digital obfuscation. As they neared the emergency exit, a drone appeared around the corner, its camera lens swiveling toward them. Mina acted on instinct, grabbing a nearby fire extinguisher and hurling it at the drone. The impact knocked it off course, and Elias finished it off with a makeshift electromagnetic disruptor he carried in his toolkit. "We're running out of time," Elias said, his voice tight with fear. They burst through the exit and into the alley behind the institute, only to find themselves face to face with two of the armed figures. One of them raised a weapon, but before he could fire, a deafening roar filled the air. A vehicle, half hovercraft, half armored tank, careened into the alley, its mounted cannon blasting the attackers with stunning precision. The side hatch of the vehicle opened, revealing a woman with a shaved head and piercing blue eyes. "Get in if you want to live," she barked. Mina and Elias didn't hesitate. Once inside, the vehicle roared away, its occupants shielded from the chaos outside. The woman introduced herself as Zara Kane, a former intelligence officer turned rebel. Beside her sat a tall, broad-shouldered man who introduced himself as Captain Darius Venn, leader of an underground resistance group. "We've been watching you, Dr. Aras," Darius said. "We know about the archive, and we know who's after it." Mina narrowed her eyes. "Who are they?" Darius' expression darkened. "We call them the architects. They've been pulling humanity's strings for millennia, and now that you've uncovered their secrets, they're going to stop at nothing to silence you." As the vehicle sped toward a hidden resistance base, Mina's mind reeled. The architects, immortal beings who had shaped humanity's destiny from the shadows. She had spent her life studying the past, but now she was part of a fight for the future. Reluctantly, she realized there was no turning back. In that moment, Mina made a silent vow. If the architects thought they could control humanity, they were about to face the full force of its rebellion, and she would be at its forefront, whether she liked it or not.